That was my bullshit.
Kevin, stay focused. This is why I don't want you to come over here.
Y'all record for me.
I'm tired.
Record for me.
You're not.
I'm tired.
Record for me.
This is the money. Put the water for the dog and let's get the.
All this shit. Mama, don't start. Mama, all this shit. All this shit.
You see what I'm saying?
All this shit. You see what I go through?
Kevin, you see what I'm saying?
You see what I go through? All I'm trying to do is be here for you. No matter what they say. You don't get it. You don't fucking get it.
You don't get it. This bitch ain't worth your fucking.
See what I'm saying? But I'm still trying to be here for you.
Yeah, but you ain't gonna get
Always.
We put it to an end. If I have to move this motherfucker out of here, bitch, you're leaving. You're leaving. If I have to move him,
Always.
if I have to move him myself.
You stay here. I've always been here for you. That was my bullshit.
Kevin, stay focused. This is why I don't want you to come over here.
Y'all record for me.
I'm tired.
Don't want people.
I've always been here for you.
Is this what we came up here to do?
I've always been here for you.
Is this what we came up here to do?
I'm stressed out.
You really need to stop. Is this what we came up here to do?
Because I wasn't ready to get alone. Get alone.
I would never fucking fuck with her.
I've been trying to be.
I would never fuck with her.
Even when you first came into my life, hey,
We didn't come up here.
I've tried.
Give the dog.
I've been
some
trying.
water. Nigga, get a
I
dog.
led with the church, counseling.
How you fucking
None of that.
go to church for a fucking devil, nigga? That's what I keep telling you.
Because I tried.
Nigga, get the
I tried.
Get the dog.
Mama, stop
Get the dog
hitting
some
me.
water and let's go.
Stop hitting me, mama.
Get the dog some water and food.
I'm sorry you gotta go through this, but
Get
that's
the
what I go
dog some water.
through. For you. For you.
Get the dog.
For you.
Get the dog some food. Let's
I'm
go.
tired.
Let's go outside, wait for the police.
I'm tired.
Don't want people.
I've always been here for you.
Is this what we came up here to do?
I've always been here for you.
Let's go outside and wait for the police. Cause this whole number's up. I'm involved now, baby.
I don't want you
You
to
ain't
get
no man.
I don't want you to get in trouble.
You ain't. I ain't gonna get in trouble.
I'm talking about Kevin. Just go.
Yeah, exactly. Let's go.
Tired.
I know.
I'm tired, mama.
Get
Stop.
the fuck out of here, nigga. You come up here for this bullshit. Really? You come up here for this.
No, mama. Okay, let me feed my dog and I'm thrown, I promise.
Hey, so you gonna feed the dog, right?
Yeah, I was. He already had
No.
water.
Get the fuck out.
No.
Kevin, it's nothing with the
I'm
dog.
trying.
How can't be going on with
Get
this?
out. Boy.
All this
I'm trying to feed.
All this cannot be going on with the police. Dog.
See what you call.
All
See
this
what
can't
you call.
all this can't be going
See
on.
what the fuck you call to me.
Are you serious, nigga?
Kevin, please.
What?
Are you serious?
Tired, mama.
Are you serious right now?
Sorry.
Are you serious
I'm
right
trying to be everybody. I'm trying to make
now? Let's go outside and wait for the police.
everybody fucking happy.
Fuck making this bitch.
But I can't be happy.
Fuck making
Why I
this
can't be
bitch.
happy?
You gonna be happy with another.
Why I can't be
I got
happy?
bitches lined up for you. Get
got
this.
Why?
She got somebody for you. It's
I
fine.
sure-
Why?
She got somebody
I
for you.
sure
Go ahead.
Why I can't be happy?
Are you serious?
Ever since you came into my life, it was Bingo, John, and your ex.
So then why you want her? So why
And then you thought you sent pictures of me.
Kevin,
You know how much you
please.
damaged me.
Stop
So
yelling.
why do you
Stop
want
yelling.
her?
You not trying.
Why do you want her?
Make everybody fucking happy.
Fuck making this bitch.
And this is why I always tell you guys
I saw this clip on IQ. That's a channel, IQ. It's a reactionary video, on this channel. That's my. I want to tell you where I got my source from. And shit, it's important, right? He titled his video on this clip. He titled his video. He finally had enough of her manipulation and broke down, right? And that's a very adequate description of what we saw in the clip. Okay. He also called the guy a simp. Right? He said the guy was a simp, and simps are defenseless, and basically they use this supply for very evil women and shit. Okay. And I'd say emotional vampires, narcissists, whatever you want to call them, sociopaths, cuckoos. You know, I agree with everything but calling the guy a simp, right? So I want to explain that shit, okay? I want to explain shit. Of course, the guy's, crashing out and everything. We don't know what preceded it, all right? We really don't know. We started the clip with the man hysterical, and that is his own mother standing in between him and the girl, who has the wherewithal to set up a live stream to catch any potential violent action he might direct towards that shit, okay? And I can tell you 10 ways from Sunday, she did something that triggered him to the 9th degree and shit. And, the way the supposed community is set up is that we're responsible no matter what, okay? It's the whole, like the Jonathan Majors thing, where he was convicted of a crime. The crime was running away from someone that was trying to attack and harm him and shit. And this guy was running away to protect his career and himself and shit. And he still went down because, the color of his skin and everything and whatnot. He wasn't violent or anything, right? And this is the basement level of that kind of, mindset and shit. This is the basement level of it. This guy, this guy over here, the IQ channel, he called the dude a simp and shit. Well, it is what it is, right? We'll have to agree to disagree and shit. We don't know what preceded it, okay? We don't know what preceded it. We don't know what kind of abuse that this guy was suffering. You could hear the pain in this guy's voice when he was yelling at his girlfriend, the female. We could hear the pain in his voice. And we don't know what she was doing and shit. I'm going to tell you right now, right? I ain't coming out the closet or nothing, but, a lot of times these women, these, I guess you'll call it emotional vampire, the Jezebel, whatever the fuck you want to call the asshole, the asshole, they'll do crazy shit to your ass to initiate this type of a crash out and shit. And one of the common things they like to do is they like to give you no peace. We say that it's just some generalized bullshit, and we say, I need to have my peace and shit. You don't explain that. I hate that. Well, that's sloganizing for that. We need to say what it is in exact, terms and shit, okay? We need to explain to you in layman's terms what we're talking about when we say we need our peace and shit. When you have a woman like this in the house with you, or any person, but I'm going to say women because this is a safe space for straight black men to talk as they please and, be themselves and shit, okay? And I don't give a fuck how many people see this goddamn video. But one of the main tactics that, women like this use is sensory overload and sleep deprivation, okay? Sensory overload and sleep deprivation. And I was listening to this guy's voice and shit, and looking at his mannerisms and shit, and it was clear that he was actually emotionally and physically exhausted to the point where he lost all reason, right? We don't think like women. We don't generally act on our feelings and shit. And when we do it, the shitty ass, black community, the shitty ass community, we carry the blame for everything. We carry crosses for it. We don't just carry our fucking cross. We carry the woman's cross and shit. And this motherfucker, he sounded exhausted, okay? So I'm going to go out on a limb and say that she had been repeatedly stopping him from having any kind of relaxation or, having a moment of peace to actually think about what's going on around him and shit. And I would hazard a guess that he was a victim of sleep deprivation and sensory overload, wherein she would continue, going back and forth with him and shit while keeping him from actually thinking, They won't let you go to sleep. They'll keep bothering you. They'll even have sex with you so that you won't be able to rest and then keep talking to you and keep you up until you don't know whether you're coming or going and shit. I've seen this before. And dare I say I've experienced it and shit in my 20s. Right? It's incredible. You'll lose control of yourself whether you like it or not, okay? It's literal torture. Okay? And I heard this guy's voice and I seen how he's reacting and shit. And I felt bad and shit. I felt bad that he was called a simp. We didn't, why victim shame, right? This is a safe space for men and shit. I say, why victim shame? So No, we're gonna say that he was suffering from extreme sleep deprivation and shit, and sensory overload, and then he crashed out. And the reason I'm saying that is because the woman had the wherewithal to set up her live stream, and then she actually poses. You know, you'll see in the thumbnail. That's her. This is the woman causing all this, all this chaos and shit. And you'll see her there posing and shit. She's very pleased with herself for what she's doing and shit. She knows what she's doing. She has a static look on her face. Right? A static look that I recognize. I have seen this look before. This is, he can't see it because he's, that's his mother standing in between him and this woman, right? He can't fucking see it, right? But we can see it and shit, and I've seen it before and shit. What we're looking at in the thumbnail is her actual face, alright? This is the person beneath whatever he thinks he had, okay? And she's a blank slate. There's nothing in there and shit. The only way that she can get any sustenance or feel like a human being is by causing him to have an emotional outburst and shit, is what some of you call a trauma bond, right? And a lot of women think this is a relationship. A lot of women in this supposed community think this is actually what a relationship is, causing this kind of an emotional reaction that be capped off by some kind of, probably sexual activity and shit in the extreme, whatever they call hate sex or makeup sex and all that crap. And then the guys are more malleable and shit. You get them into an extreme, you get them going to like a manic state and shit. And then you spike his endorphins and shit. And then he can't really reason and shit. He's more controllable now and shit. Okay, you got him into an extreme manic state, and then you have sex with him and shit, and released all these endorphins into a system, and then he's exhausted from being kept up and shit, and you can mix all that in, all this shit to where him being sleep deprived and just continually attacked and shit. You add to that like over 8 hours of work, a commute and shit, dealing with shit at work, with black men and shit. You slap that on, just trying to get through a commute and get through your daily life and shit is the situation, the boogeyman on the planet and everything, and the most demonized man on the planet, You go through all that, and then you slap all that shit you just did on them, and then you look at the look on her face while she's sitting up there, while she's sitting there waiting for whatever happens and shit. Okay, just waiting there. She's absorbing all of that energy and shit. All right, she's absorbing that. That's how she feeds. Okay, this is how she gets her. She's getting her endorphins. Her endorphins are spiking from causing this chaos, and the fact that his mother's there standing in between it adds to the pot. Okay, I can't call this guy a simp. I call him a fucking victim. All right, he's a victim and shit. And I'm not going to take umbrage with the gentleman that presented the clip and shit. I actually went to his social media for the clip, and I wanted to know where this shit came from, where it originated from. It looked like it originated from some other kind of social media site that I'm not privy to get into, because I wanted to know who this woman was. I wanted to go to her social media pages and look at it, see what's there. I wanted to see if I saw like a whole page full of extreme close-ups of her fucking face and shit. That's her ick, and that's a red flag and shit. Thirst traps and shit, or her telling stories in her car about all of the shitty relationships she had and all this stuff, discounting her participation in it and shit. Okay, all right. I titled this video "How Bitches Get Shot." I think I have 1 or 2 other videos under the same title and shit, but I rarely use that title and shit, but I have to use it here because they tell us all the time that we don't protect them and this and that and the other shit, and we're shamed and gaslighted out of our minds and shit. It's no wonder we can't get anything done in this community that is not patriarchal, that is wholly matriarchal. And what you're seeing is how control is kept in this community and shit, how they do this shit to everybody. They don't just do it to the people they're laying up in the bed with. They do it to their kids and shit, right? They do it to people they encounter on the fucking street and shit, right? Now, I ain't gonna say they're all complicit in it and shit. But the only way to combat something like this is with extreme clarity and logic and shit. Okay? I ain't gonna even lie, shit. And I've been in such toxic relationships where I was obliged to lock myself in a room and to get some sleep and shit, or go out into the street and shit and ride a bus just to get some sleep and shit. You know, I was getting sleep on my commute. It was taking this extra long commute, and that's the way I would get my sleep and shit. And between that, I was going through manic states and shit of exhaustion, right? And it wears on my person. I actually wear this, like, I got the whole Moses thing going on, okay? Right? But, you know, when I was younger and shit, I didn't have any fucking guidance. And I came from a nuclear family. I had access to both my parents and shit. They were not interested in helping me navigate any of this kind of shit. They were like, hey, man, just, you know, get it from the mud. Get it from the dirt. So I got it from the dirt, and I got dirt put on my ass and shit. I almost got 2 pennies put on my motherfucking ass from a woman like this and shit. And then, you know, I'm not going to really talk about that person and shit till things are resolved in my own personal life. I'm not going into depth, but, you know, why give her clout and shit? Let them stay anonymous. You know, this woman right here, I'm telling you, this is a vampire. Okay? She's not drinking blood. She's drinking his emotional energy. And she's draining his spirit. Okay? I'm not being colorful. I'm speaking literally. Alright? That's why I have the thumbnail that I have and shit. So you can see what's going on and whatnot. She's enjoying what she's doing. She's enjoying it and shit. I don't want to talk. I don't want to make any colorful metaphors or anything and shit. And I don't want to rug sweep this shit. I'm not here to gaslight nobody. I'm not here to tell you it's your fault because you crashed out with somebody deprived you of sleep and shit, and nourishment and human compassion and shit, and you're living under your roof with you or just doing the most and shit. I bet she don't even clean that motherfucking house if they're sharing a home. They don't clean that shit. Okay, she probably laying up there. He come home from work after all that bullshit. He got to pick up all that shit, and she's talking crap, or she's going in his fucking pockets while he's doing that shit and talking crap. And then, you know, he probably she gonna isolate him from his fucking family or any support they have. She's gonna kill that shit, and then she's gonna continually gaslight and nag the fuck out of him about being weak and shit. If he try to call somebody and tell on her ass that she's doing this abuse to him and shit, there's no checks and balances and shit. So the guy, yeah, he's gonna crash out and shit. She might die. Right? That's usually what happens to Jezebel and shit. They meet a horrible end and shit because they can't change. They can't course correct it. You know, you can't really expect a monster to do anything but what it's here to do and shit. Here to cause chaos and destruction and bring you down. You know, her whole thing is she's gonna stick around until one or two things happens. If she finds another person to drain of everything. And I haven't even gone into the, you know, what this does to you economically and shit, and, you know, socially and personally and shit with other people. The shit will wear on you. You'll literally age. You're not gonna go into that shit. She's gonna stick around until she finds another person, at which point she'll do a narcissistic discard. What that means is she's gonna find the most emotionally devastating way to dump your ass and shit that she can manage and whatnot, because she ultimately wants you to check out, when she wants you to become what she is and shit. She wants to kill your soul so that you'll be out there thinking to do this to the next person you meet and shit. You'll be looking for your lick. You're gonna see her in your mind's eye laughing, you know, or laying up with whoever you think it is, probably one of your friends or something and shit. And she wants you to think about it. She wants a permanent burn on your spirit, right? So that you'll do what she does and shit, and you'll, by proxy, you'll be nothing. You'll be less than her because she brought you down to her level, and she's an empty vessel, right? She cannot function in polite society, right? She can't function in polite society. She can't do nothing but destroy and bring decay to everything that she touches and whatnot. Which is why, you know, the ghetto is a ghetto, okay? And the mother is the first teacher of the child and shit. And I'm not gonna discount the fact that his own mother is standing there between him and this woman, stopping him from doing that. But she is not being empathetic or sympathetic to her son in any way. She's loud talking and shit. And at one point she actually strikes her own son, you know? And when this shit is going on, you know, we got all this shit in the black community and all these expectations of black men and how they should behave, how they should protect their woman, how they should provide, protect, and blah, blah, blah. You just supposed to figure it out yourself. You know, you're born with an instruction book stapled to your butthole, you know, right? She's not gonna do what any logical person would do, right? When they see this kind of shit happening and whatnot, they should call the mom should call the authorities over to the house and shit to help her get her son out and shit, and tell them to send the paramedics over in a patrol car and shit. You know, if he's out of control and shit, if she can't get him to come out of there. And I know you say like, hey, don't call the cops and all that bullshit, but I would call the fucking cops and whatnot and shit. And if she's a ghetto mother and shit, we know that their number one product out of this kind of a woman is a goddamn Pookie, right? Under Tyrone and shit, right? If she's that kind of mama and shit, and she's standing there watching hers, she knows what's happening to her son and shit, but she doesn't know how to behave towards him because she's socially engineered to be non-sympathetic, non-matronly towards her son, right? Right? The matriarchy be damned, right? And if she was a real mother, shit, you know, she'd tell the young lady that, you know, I'm gonna take my son with me when I go, but I will see you later with a number of female family members and whatnot, because we don't appreciate what you did and whatnot, and we will see you within hours and shit. All right. I've seen ghetto women, you know, crash out when, you know, their children are you know, slighted in any way and shit. They crash out to the 9th degree and shit. I didn't see it in this clip. And you can see the mom, you know, looks a certain way. She's fucked up too. And she's responsible, you know, for what's going on right now. I don't know where this guy's father is. He needs someone in his life that gives a shit about him, and he has no one. And he's stuck between two negatives. All right? What can he do? The walls are closing in on him and shit. And the most, you know, a lot of you guys out here is going to do is blame him for the shit that he's crashing out. Oh, well, you shouldn't be with the woman and shit. Well, you know, you want to victim shame, that's on you. I can't do that. Okay? I can't do that. I want you to look at this woman's face. Alright? Take a good fucking look at her face, man. You know, look at her. What do you see there? You don't see nothing. And it don't matter what's below her neck or how she's built or anything. Any woman can do this. You give them leverage. Any, you know, empty vessel, emotional vampire woman can do this, you know. Or the supposed quote unquote Jezebel, the witch, can do this. Okay? She's enjoying this. Alright? So a couple of things gonna happen. He's gonna crash out and be destroyed utterly. Or she's gonna get killed. He's gonna do some shit and beat her to death, or, you know, blow her head off, or do some crazy psychotic shit and end up behind bars or in an electric chair or something if they still have that. And the other option, which usually happens, is he's gonna die by proxy violence, right? Because I guarantee if she's doing this bullshit, she already got another victim lined up and shit. She's told that victim about this guy in the negative and shit. So it makes his life is in danger. The minute she starts, this is the beginning of it, what we call a narcissistic discard and shit. And this guy's life is in danger right now. Okay? But, you know, hey, it's his fault, right? Because he's a simp. Right? It's his fault because he's a simp. Kings. Keep your head on the swivel. Protect your bag. And above all else, take this shit to heart. Right? Take this shit to heart. Do not make fallen women the stewards of your household. Okay? Take a look at this goddamn woman. Do not make fallen women the stewards of your household. Do not make fallen women the mothers of your children this shit. Okay? Because your children are your future. They are your legacy and shit. Can you imagine putting a child in an empty vessel? Right? Do you know what it would become of? What would be the product of that coupling, the abomination that would be? Right? Some people think I'm being insensitive and shit in some of the comments that say I'm bashing women and shit. And I'm going to tell you guys out there, I have not gone as hard as I would like and shit. I could never go as hard as I would like in the paint on this kind of shit, okay? And I do what I do because I want black men to save themselves, okay? Yeah, you know, they call them a simp, a wuss and all that bullshit for allowing a mid woman to do this to him and shit. Right? So hey, you know, I ain't out here to try to change your mind or nothing. You can have your own opinion. It's a free country. UK's and said free country and shit. You know, get it how you live, right? Okay, get in where you fit in, all that kind of shit. Get in where you fit in, get you dead. Right? Do not make fallen women the mothers of your goddamn children. Alright? I'm telling you. You know, SYSBM means save yourself, black people. I'm begging you, okay? I'm on fucking knees. Save yourself, please.